Hi, Lily. It's story time. And today we're reading If I Could Choose a Best Day, Poems of Possibility. Welcome by Irene Latham and Charles Waters. If you're reading this, it's time to unlock the door of possibility. Trust yourself. Turn the key. Everyday Magic. If You Have a Pencil by Eric Ode. If you have a pencil, you might make a poem. If you have a tire, you might make a swing. If you might make a tower of buckets and boxes. You might make a kite out of paper and string. You might make a story of dreams and adventure, a dash of imagine, a cup of pretend. If you have a pencil, you might make a poem. If you have a smile, you just might make a friend. There was 2 pages there. If Ever You Build a Treehouse by Rebecca Kai Dultlich. If you ever build a treehouse in a city or town, make sure it has the kind of steps that go both up and down. And then, whatever else you do, make sure it has a door for going in and out of it, both after and before. Then find a hidden spot for dreams that ever and ever might be, both then and now and then, where you can be you in a house, in a tree. Finch Robin Jay by Amy Ludwig van der Water. If you learn the name of just one bird that lives not far from you, if you learn the patterns on its wings, recognize which song it sings, then every time you see this bird, you will feel a friend is near. A nesting friend, a flying friend. Your heart will grin, your mind will clear. You will feel big and small at once if you learn the name of just one bird. If You Catch a Firefly by Lillian Moore. If you catch a firefly and keep it in a jar, you may find that you have lost a tiny star. If you let it go then, back into the night, you may see it once again, star bright. The Rock by Sarah Grace Tuttle. If you look closer, the rock has veins that glimmer. If you look closer, the glimmer ripples like water. If you look closer, the ripples are mermaids. If a Bad Dream Comes by Siv Cedering. If a bad dream comes and scares me awake, I'll pull the covers over my head and hide inside the small warm room of my bed. My blanket is a ceiling, my mattress is a floor. The covers tucked tight are the corners of the walls, and my pillow is a door that I can lock against the night. It's dark in this room, and it almost feels safe, but if someone should come to see if I'm awake, if someone should ask who is hiding there, I'd say, "It's me, and I'm scared." Opening Windows by Teresa Owen Smith. If you cannot sleep, open the windows. Search the dark sea of the night sky. Your dreams are hiding there. You cannot keep them quiet and shy. Grab the stars and let moonlight dance inside you. I want to let moonlight dance inside me. The Power of You. What kind of word is if? By Georgia Hurd. If is a wise word, a wishing word that flies in the blue sky of hope, a longing word, a listening word, a word to hold gently in the palm of your hands, a borderless word, a believing word, a don't give up word, a pick yourself up word, a beginning word, a belonging word, And I can word, and I am word. If I imagine sunlight made me, by Lucretia Berry. If I imagine sunlight made me, my soul soars like a blackbird, chirping in celebration of my midnight wings, without anyone telling me I am too dark to be related to the sun. If This Wind Persists, by Sidel Rosenberg. If this wind persists, I'll be blown into a shape like a bonsai tree. I've definitely felt the wind like that before. I'm going to say that it's going to turn me into a bonsai tree now. If a Snowstorm Comes to Town, by Janice Scully. If a snowstorm comes to town, I'll watch the snowflakes falling down, watch them swirling to the ground, sparkling, spinning round and round. Never will they make a sound. Just keep falling down, down, down. I love to watch the snowflakes fall. No one rushes snow at all. Out my window wandering free, snow is how I like to be. If I Were a Bookworm, by Guadalupe Garcia McCall. If I were a bookworm, I'd feast on millions of words. I'd wrap them in masa, cook them on firewood, and top them with salsa. I'd chew cold words, too, words so chilled and frosty my fingers would tingle as I patted them down with ajo and comino. I'd munch on sweet words because they make me smile. Words dripping with icing and stuffed with fruta son deliciosas, very enticing. I'd make short work of palabras malas, words vile and malicious. I'd cut, stir fry, and saute them until they were tender, so nice and nutritious. If I were a bookworm, I'd tear through so many words that my dientes would hurt, but my heart would dance and my soul would feel good. Kinfolk and Companions. If, Then, by Jolene Gutierrez. If you, then me. If two, then three. If stars, then sun. If day, then fun. If speak, then hear. If far, then near. If look, then see. If us, then we. If the catch, then fall. If love, then all. If We Were Rich, by Jeanette Wong. If I was rich, gotta say my R's there, man. If I was rich, I would buy Mommy a new coat. That's what my brother says. Mommy says she's not going anywhere special. She doesn't want a new coat. If I was rich, I would buy Mommy a new house. That's what I say. Mommy says she loves our neighbors. She doesn't want a new house. What can we buy you then, I ask. Nothing, she says, and tells us to rub her tired feet. We cuddle under a quilt on our comfy old couch. It's okay that we're not rich. Puddle, by Bob Raxa. If this puddle could talk, I think it would tell me to splash my sister. It's my favorite poem in the whole book. Because I'm going to splash my sister. Just you wait. Scattered, by Nancy Tupper Ling. If I scatter words like paper puddles across our kitchen floor, I find morning next to moonlight, dragon beside rice. If I fling them overhead, they fall colorful stepping stones, blending Mama's and Baba's worlds into a path. Here, at my feet. Blue Bike, by Gabby Snyder. If I could pedal my blue bike back through time, I'd pedal back to Grandma's house to sit next to her on the sun-flowered couch. We'd drink lemonade with the fan blowing back and forth to cool our faces, talking about her childhood, the tornado that knocked their gas station flat, the lake she swam across, and the tree she climbed out the attic window down to her blue bike, ready for adventure. If I Could Choose a Best Day by Lisa Rogers. If I could choose a best day, it would be sunny, it would be summer, and I would be with you. Eating blueberries, mouth puckering and sweet, searching for clovers to braid into crowns, tracking ants on their journeys to somewhere and back, staying so still dragonflies could rest ever so lightly on our fingertips, stretching in skin-prickling grass, eyes closed, breathing the humming world around us. No In-Between by Anna Grossnickel-Heinz. If one is right, the other wrong, how can we ever get along? If We Listen by Joseph Bruchac. If we listen long enough, might we hear what the birds are telling us? Our old people did. They knew those songs to greet the coming of the sun, were messages to understand. Look to the light. You are not alone. Listen to the birds to bring to the bright life all around, and you may find your own hymn. Anything is possible. Journey by Nikki Grimes. If I shatter the wall between dream and what might be, I could say kite, and the wind of my words would rocket me into the air where I could soar, skip around the sun, take a leisurely tour of cumulus clouds, or fly in formation with geese gathered for their annual commute to warmer climes. No, I'm not a feathered creature, but this flight of mind is real, if I say so. If You Catch a Magic Fish by Sylvia Liu. If you catch a magic fish that grants you but a single wish, will you ask for coins and gold to live forever, not grow old? Will you seek to end all war, to never have another chore? I wonder what the fish would say. Would it rather swim away and live a life that's wild and free, instead of toil for you or me? If you catch a magic fish, why not ask it what it would wish? A World Without Hate by Vikram Madan. If frogs grew on trees, if rainbows laid eggs, if dogs flew like bees, if houses had legs, if shoes liked to sing, if fish played trombones, if each year in spring it rained ice cream cones, that would be cool. If all this was true, if we met face to face, I would surely like you, and I'm sure you'd like me, for a world without hate is a magical place. Nobody Remembers by Laura Purdy Salas. I used to call you Purdy. If everybody was healthy, the hospital would empty out. All around, kids would hit pop flies, granddads would tend roses, grown-ups would push strollers, ice cream trucks would sing down streets, beagles would ask for belly rubs, and teachers would share stories until finally, one day, the hospital would be just a dusty shadow, and nobody would remember what was ever there. A Glimmer of Peace by Robin Hood Black. If you spin your silky dreams, then wait, breathe. Let peace unfurl moon shimmer wings. One Stitch by Renee M. Latulippe. If each kind deed could be a square of cloth, and each kind word a stitch, and if each day we shared another square, another stitch, soon we'd have a quilt of kindness big enough to blanket our whole patchwork world. The Gift of If by Janae Brownwood. If is a gift for adventure. If is a to explore. If is a gripping story egging you on. Don't stop, read more. If is an unanswered question. If is a boredom cure. If is an arching rainbow, no one knows where it ends for sure. If is a lost buried treasure. If is a padlocked door. If is the thought, what's out there, without a clue of what's in store. And if means there's no limit. If means forget before. If means all is possible. Because if means the world is yours. The end. I love you, Lily. Bye.